Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Alright, folks, this one's heating up in the AFC North, and for Steelers fans, this could be a game changer. We all know that the Steelers have been building something special under Mike Tomlin, aiming for another deep playoff run, and they've been busy in the offseason trying to fill the gaps. With the recent signing of Aaron Rodgers, the team's quarterback situation has taken a major leap forward. But what about the weapons around him? Well, that's where things get interesting, because there's a new potential move on the horizon that could seriously shake up the division, and it involves the Green Bay Packers and their wide receiver Romeo Doubs. Now, if you've been paying close attention, you know that last season, the Steelers faced some challenges in the passing game. After trading away George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys earlier in the offseason, the team's receiver core definitely needs some reinforcements. Sure, rookies like Calvin Austin III and some younger guys are promising, but the Steelers are a team that's always looking to add proven talent, especially when it comes to giving their quarterback more options to throw to. And with Rodgers now in the mix, the urgency to upgrade the receiving core has only increased. So naturally, fans are wondering, could the Steelers make a splash and bring in someone like Romeo Doubs from Green Bay? That's exactly what Bleacher Report's Gary Davenport speculated recently. In his analysis, he suggested that the Packers, who have been in a bit of a rebuild mode after trading away some of their veteran players and drafting young talent, might be open to trading away one of their wide receivers, specifically Romeo Doubs. Why Doubs? Well, he's only 25 years old, showed flashes of brilliance last year, finishing with 601 yards and 4 touchdowns over just 12 games. Not too shabby considering he was a part-time starter, and he has the kind of speed and explosive ability that could really complement Pittsburgh's offense. You see, Green Bay, after drafting Texas receiver Matthew Golden in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft, has a crowded depth chart at wide receiver. They've got Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and some promising rookies. The team's focus is clearly on developing their young talent, but that might come at a cost. If the Packers decide to move Doubs, the Steelers could very well be one of the teams knocking on their door. The Steelers, after all, have always been aggressive when it comes to acquiring weapons, especially when it aligns with their goal of contending for a Super Bowl. And let's not forget the context here. The Steelers finally have their starting quarterback situation settled with Aaron Rodgers. Imagine what adding a dynamic receiver like Doubs could do for him. Rodgers, known for his quick release and precision passing, would surely benefit from a receiver with Doubs' speed and ability to stretch the field. It's a perfect match in many ways. Plus, the Steelers have shown a willingness to trade for high-impact players, as they did with Seattle for DK Metcalf. That move signaled their intent to be more aggressive in acquiring top-tier talent, and a trade for Doubs could be just the kind of move that puts them over the top. Now, let's delve a bit deeper into what Doubs brings to the table. He's a player with a lot of potential, a receiver with natural route-running skills, and the ability to make contested catches. He's shown he can be a reliable target, especially in clutch moments. His yards after catch ability is impressive, and he's got that burst to turn short catches into big gains. That kind of explosiveness is exactly what the Steelers' offense needs to diversify and keep defenses honest. Plus, given his youth, he's someone who could grow alongside the team's young core, creating a long-term partnership with Rodgers and the team's offensive scheme. But of course, trading for Doubs wouldn't be a no-brainer. The Packers, like any team, will ask for fair compensation. Given his recent production and potential, they'd likely want a draft pick or a player of similar value. The Steelers have the assets, perhaps a mid-round pick or a young player to entice Green Bay. It's all about negotiations, and if the Steelers believe Doubs can be the missing link in their passing attack, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a serious push. Looking at the bigger picture, this potential move fits into the Steelers' broader strategy of retooling their offense around Rodgers. We've seen teams in the past that thrive when their QB has weapons that can stretch the field, and Doubs' skill set aligns perfectly with what Pittsburgh needs right now. It's about creating mismatches, giving Rodgers someone who can win 50-50 balls, and ultimately helping the Steelers become more dynamic offensively. And let's not forget the history here. Pittsburgh has always been a franchise that values smart, aggressive moves. They've built some of the most legendary defenses in NFL history, but in recent years, their offensive identity has evolved. Bringing in a player like Doubs could be the next step in making their offense more explosive, more versatile, and more difficult for defenses to handle. And with Rodgers at the helm, the sky's the limit. Of course, all of this hinges on Green Bay's plans. They're in a bit of a transition phase, trying to balance developing young players with winning now. Their decision on Doubs will depend on what kind of return they can get, and whether they see him as part of their future or more as a trade asset. But for Steelers fans, the possibility of adding a talented young receiver like Doubs is certainly exciting. It's the kind of move that could propel the team into serious playoff contention and give Rodgers the kind of weapons he's always thrived with. Now, speaking of the season ahead, the Steelers are entering 2025 with high expectations. The addition of Rodgers gives them a shot at returning to the postseason after missing out last year. The defense remains stout, with stars like T.J. Watt leading the charge, but it's the offense that's the focus this offseason. Improving their passing attack, adding speed, and creating mismatches will be crucial. And if they manage to land Doubs, that would be a significant step in that direction. It's all about building around Rodgers, giving him targets who can make plays down the field, and maximizing the talent they have. The AFC North is no longer just about the Steelers and Ravens. It's turned into a highly competitive division with the Bengals, always lurking as contenders, and the Browns, trying to find consistency. The Steelers, with their revamped defense and a new quarterback, want to establish dominance and reclaim their spot at the top. A trade for Doubs could be that piece that pushes them closer to that goal. And for the fans watching at home, what do you think? Would Romeo Doubs be a perfect fit in Pittsburgh? Do you believe the Steelers should pull the trigger if the opportunity arises? How do you see this impacting their chances in 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I really want to hear what you guys think about this potential move. It's an exciting time for Steelers Nation, and this offseason could bring some surprises that define the next chapter of the franchise. Remember, this story was first reported by Athlon Sports on June 6, 2025, and it's one of those rumors that could turn into reality as we get closer to training camp. The NFL offseason is always full of twists and turns, and Pittsburgh fans, you know better than anyone that your team is never afraid to make bold moves. Whether or not this trade happens, one thing is for sure: the Steelers are always aiming for greatness, and with the right pieces, they could be a serious contender once again. So stay tuned, keep your eyes on those news updates, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for all the latest Steelers insights, rumors, analysis, and more. We'll keep you ahead of the game because that's what Steelers fans deserve. Thanks for sticking with me, and now I want to hear from you. What's your take? Would a trade for Romeo Doubs make the difference? Do you think Green Bay will hold on to him or cash in now? The NFL is always unpredictable, but one thing is certain: Steelers Nation, we're in for an exciting season ahead. Buckle up because this story isn't over yet, and I'll be back soon with even more updates, analysis, and insights into the Steelers' journey to another Super Bowl.